In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this, the H10 Headtorch / bivvy light / receiver / anything else that ND can pack into a little head torch. Firstly, what is in the box? Now, hopefully your box will be a little less battered than what mine looks like right now, because this has been in my fishing bag for a couple of sessions, so it's got a bit knocked about. But inside the box will be the same contents. First of all, you've got a user manual. As to be expected with ND, there's more to this head torch than just being a head torch. So the manual there is to help you figure out some of the other things that this head torch can do. The head torch itself, which is usable straight out of the packet, and it's rechargeable, fully rechargeable from the little USB on the side, which is nice and handy. And then you've also got this little plastic cover, which I'll move on to in a second. A couple of little bits of paper at the bottom, checking you're happy with your purchase, and also a little Allen key and some screws. So don't worry, this isn't IKEA. You haven't got to construct the whole head torch. There's a little change you can make on this to turn it into something else, which again we'll get onto in a little while. So that's everything you get in the box for the H10 head torch. First things first, how does it actually work as a head torch itself? So if I move some of this stuff out of the way, so we've just got the head torch on show. As you'd expect, easy adjustable strap, elasticated. You've got full tilt function on the head itself, so that once it's on your head, you can just tilt it. You don't have to sort of fumble around trying to get the right angle. It's already nice and easy, just adjust it on there. And it doesn't really click loudly, other than when you're coming back, and it's got enough grip there to hold it in place once you set it where you want. And actually having a look at it, you've got the little Allen key hole there for the screws. If you want to tighten that up slightly, you can, or loosen it, set it to a desired point. You could probably then tighten it back up. You've got a USB port on the side, as I've already mentioned, so it's fully rechargeable on the bank. Pretty much everyone carries a head torch, a battery pack with them now, so you can charge it up on the bank, no problem. Nice and simple design as well. So we've got two buttons on the top, and each of these buttons have separate functions. So the small circular button is your power on and off. If I press and hold that, it will turn on to whatever I last had the setting on, and that's the white light. If I press that quickly, it changes to the red light. Press it again, and it might be quite hard to see in this light. Maybe if I point it directly at that camera, you can see it's a bluish light, and that's actually a UV light. So that's quite a handy little feature on there if you've got some glow-in-the-dark pop-up corns and stuff. Some people like to use that, or maybe some of your SIDs and things have a little element of a UV reflection to them. So when you're finding things in the dark, that UV light will be dead handy to spot some of those more luminous items in your bivvy. And then press once more, and you'll see it starts flashing. So this is your SOS mode. So if you are in any kind of issue or any danger, then it's a nice little feature to have. But yeah, just scrolling through them, you've got your 4 different light settings. You've got your white, your red, your UV, and then your SOS. Now the button on the right, which is the square-shaped one, if you press that one, you'll see that it changes, or it turns it completely off just there. So it's still remembering that I'm in the white mode. If I press that, it comes on much quicker than if I press and held the complete on and off button. And also when I dab that and the light goes off, so I'll face it at that one, so as you can see how quickly it changes between on and off. Once it's gone off after pressing that button, it's actually in a standby mode. So that's why it's so much quicker. Once I press that button, the light comes on really quickly, like so. And that standby mode is also something linked into something I'll get onto, is that you can connect this to other items, so it's on standby. If I press and hold, you'll see that it will go through different brightness levels, like so, and you can stop at any point you want. And if I double tap that, it goes into an ultra bright mode for 30 seconds. So if you've got, maybe you're making a cast to an island or something, you just need that little bit extra light, but you don't need it on constantly. Double press, you've got 30 seconds of its full brightness, and that'll be beaming its way out to your spot. Remember, if you like this sort of content, then please do subscribe to us and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. And also follow us on all the social media platforms coming up on your screen right now for regular updates. So that's the light aspects in a nutshell, but as we've come to expect with ND, they pack way more into an item than just doing the basics. So you've actually got 2 different covers on the front, and that's what brings me back onto this little case here and the Allen key. So I'll go through the head torch front to start with. So if I turn it back on, as you can see, this is what you'd use it typically as your head torch function. But this front lens is actually slightly unique because it's got a zoom function on it. So if I twist that, as you can see, the lens comes out slightly. Now what that does is it changes it from a wide beam when it's completely in to a really narrow beam. So that, in conjunction with the boost mode, when you're really honing in on a spot, you can zoom the light, put it on its full strength mode, and then you've got a really direct, intense beam to a spot. Alternatively, if you just want a really subtle light, have it turned back to the wide mode and on its dimmest setting, just to give you a nice bit of light around your swim. And that, in conjunction with all the different light modes, means it's extremely versatile, whether you're needing a really small amount of red light just so you don't ruin your night vision, just to see some of the things in your bivvy, or you're really honing in on a spot. That's what this comes into its own with, really. Let's put it back onto standby, and then we'll change over to this, and that's where the Allen key comes in, because you can unscrew the front of the head torch. If I can get into this little jiffy bag, like so. And I'll probably speed this bit up, but the Allen key allows me to undo each of these screws and change to the other cover. So I'll just quickly speed this up. There we are, all the screws are now out. Pull this off, and there's a little seal in there as well, which goes with the head torch front plate. And you can feel there's a rubber seal all around all of that. So it's actually fairly waterproof, this. Obviously don't go dunking it in the margin, but if you're caught in a shower, rest assured that it's going to keep itself nice and dry inside. And then you put the other cover on the front, drop them down into their respective holes. Again, I won't do them all on camera, you'll get the idea. You tighten this all completely back up. And what this does, it's the same with any kind of photography flash, or if you think about it as how much softer the light is when the clouds are out, it just diffuses the light. So it softens that light that comes out of the head torch, as you can see, much softer light. And even if I go into the boost mode, there we go, it's a much softer light. So say you've got that hanging from your bivvy roof, you can turn that into a bivvy light. So if you'd rather not use it as just a head torch, you want to use it as a bivvy light, you can do so. But this isn't something you'd probably do every session, changing it over to a bivvy light and then back to a head torch. But if you just like that softer light, then it's ideal for that. So it's nice to know that, say you've got this and you've got, maybe you pick up two of these because of the other features they've got. You know, one is a bivvy light, one is your head torch. But if you want to use it as either or, you can do so. But I'm going to flick it back now to the head torch function. So there we go, it's now back into its full head torch function with the head torch adapter on the front. Now, on the subject of using it as a bivvy light, there is actually accessories you can get that go along with it. And you've got a magnetic plate, well, that's just a metal plate really. But if I flip the head torch open like so, as you can see, magnetic plate. So if you want to use this as a bivvy light, you've then got the plate that can just go on the top of your bivvy, and you can hang your head torch there like so. But this also can be used as a head torch function, so you know exactly where your head torch is each time. So say I put the magnetic plate there we are, I can hang it above me, so I know that as soon as I get a bite, obviously where I've put it at the moment, that magnetic plate's going to fall, but if it's on the top of my bivvy, it would stay in point, and then I know where my head torch is every time. And moving on to the next point, which is connectivity to other items, that could also be quite handy in lighting up your bivvy, so we'll talk about that now. Finally, new directions party piece, packing some tech into something that's otherwise probably a fairly mundane day-to-day item or tackle that you take on the bank with you. So these can actually connect up to other new direction items, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'll turn the head torch back on, like so, and then you press and hold both buttons for 5 seconds. Now that'll open up the channel to connect to other items. So as you can see, it's now flashing red. So the alarm's already on. This is the S9's. Beat that, it's now gone solid red. So that's now connected, sorted like so. So all done. I can turn the the head torch onto standby mode. That's when I short press the larger rectangular button. So when I beep, it turns on. So that's really handy for, say you've used the magnetic plate and you're hanging it from your bivvy ceiling, or bivvy roof, sorry. Bite alarm goes off, head torch lights up, and you already know what it is because you're hanging it from the magnetic point. It's lighting up your bivvy, so you can put your shoes on easy enough. So it takes some of that fumbling away from finding your shoes and getting out your bivvy door. Because your alarm's gone off and your head torch is lit up, you can see what you're doing already, grab the head torch, go out, and it's already lit. You don't have to find the buttons and get to your rod. So that's really quite handy. You set it up in exactly the same way with the smart bands. If you've got the B9 smart band, sync it up in the same way I've just done that alarm, and then you control the head torch or bivvy light, whichever way you've got it configured, through the wristband. By pressing the button, you can turn it on and control it that way. So again, quite nice if you just led in your bivvy, in your bed chair, sorry, in your this is set up on the roof, and you don't want to reach up and press the buttons, you can just press the button on your wrist and can control the light from there, so that's really handy. So some nice little features in there. It's not just a head torch, it can be a bivvy light if you want it to be. You've got different configurations to put it in. There's a lot packed into this unit, and the fact that it connects up to different items in the range makes everything just work hand in hand, and it's quite a nice little feature to have. So that's everything you need to know about the H10 head torch. For more information, please do head over to the New Direction website. And also, if you like this video and this content, please do subscribe to us and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. And also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for regular updates. But for now, cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon.